Hello everyone. Today I'm so honored and excited to be meeting with Kiran, one of the owners of the Velocity Pickleball Club. He just showed me the facility today. It's actively under construction. We had to put helmets and vests on. And then we'll go and check it out later on. But for now, let's have a little chat. And Kiran, would you like to introduce yourself to our viewers and tell us a little bit about the club?
Thank you so much for coming down and visiting us. My name is Kiran Morak. I'm one of the co-founders at Velocity Pickleball Club. I've got two other partners, and together we have been working really hard for the last couple of years to bring pickleball facility, an indoor pickleball facility to Redmond. And we are pulling out all the stops, and we are hard at work. And like you mentioned, construction is going, so you might hear construction sounds around and stuff like that. And we definitely are wearing hard hats and safety jackets when we go out onto the construction floor. Safety first, even while playing pickleball.
Absolutely. I'll tell everybody to wear goggles, but we'll get to that later on.
Yes, we will.
So the very first person I'd like to talk to, on these sharing time is, you remember the very first time you were in a pickleball court? When was it? How was it like? And what do you remember from it?
Oh my God, the first time I ever played pickleball was in 1998 in Portland, at the Tualatin Valley Recreation Center. I used to go there to play badminton, and this gentleman, I think his name was Steve, he used to come and lay out these pickleball courts, and there were not a lot of takers for pickleball at that time, so he would actually come actively on the badminton courts and recruit us and like, hey, there is this sport, it's a hybrid of badminton and tennis, you got to come play with us. And oh my God, we had so much fun. We had to go out and play, and we started learning how to play that game. And I played for about 6 months, a couple of times a week, and it was just a very, very addictive sport even at that time.
While you were playing badminton?
While I was playing badminton.
Okay.
So badminton used to have a long wait. Pickleball, there would be nobody waiting.
So, as long as it's popular back then, right?
Exactly. So we would go and we would play pickleball. And then that was it. Like I left Portland in 1998 and I didn't think about pickleball again for till June of 2024.
Right, 16 years, right? Okay, so 16 years later, 2034, it was August, if I remember?
Yeah, it was around June or July of 2024. I was driving by the Hutton Park on
Park and Ride. It used to be a park and ride, and it became deserted, and then
park and ride. I think they just installed about 4 pickleball courts on an old dismantled park and ride.
Park and play.
Park and play.
With a skateboard, park and bike, stuff as well.
So saw a bunch of people playing there, and I stopped by. I'm like, what are these people playing? And they were playing pickleball, and I was like, I gotta go pick up a racket.
It just clicked, right? Like what happened?
So I went to Played Against Sports, throwing a little bit of business their way, hopefully. They had rackets, and first thing that shocked me was they had a $300 paddle, and I was like, oh my God. I remember playing with like wood paddles, and like $300 carbon foam paddle was just crazy. But anyways, the guy walked me into a Selkirk paddle, which was a basic, I took that paddle and started going to play at the Hutton Park and Ride, and noticed that there were so many people who knew how to play this game and who were kind of taking it upon themselves to teach all the beginners how to do this, learn what a stack was.
That's the culture, isn't it? Like it's a very social culture. People talk to each other, and then they help newcomers.
They do.
Yeah.
And I think that's how the sport has grown, because everybody has this favorite story of somebody helping them learn the sport that they can't wait to give it back. They can't wait to be the people who kind of pay it forward.
Share the joy of the sport.
And for me, one of the biggest and the most attractive things of pickleball was, I call pickleball true democracy, because it is everybody can play.
Absolutely.
Everybody from age 5 to age 95 is out there on the courts at the same time.
And having fun together. Right. That's the best part. It's easy to pick up. It's easy to pick up.
It's so easy.
It's hard to be good, but it's easy to pick up.
It is easy to pick up, and what it does is it keeps you believing that you are going to get better. Because the next step is never that far away.
Right.
And I draw a parallel with tennis, right? Like in tennis, I played a lot of tennis, love tennis. Even the basic act of beginning a point, which is a serve, is an advanced skill. It's not a beginner skill.
Absolutely.
So when somebody comes to play tennis, they really have to invest time and energy, 6-8 months. Whereas in pickleball, within a month, you're playing at a pretty decent level.
Actually, within the first half hour, you can play a game.
Yes.
Right? You may not know all the rules, you may still step in the kitchen and hit volleys, but you can start playing a game.
Absolutely.
Right?
And that's what I loved about this game. And again, one of the cool things was there were so many people waiting. And guess what? In June 2024, there were no indoor facilities over here.
That's right.
I was
That's right.
talking to my partners. We had been talking about starting a business, and we were like, why not this? And why not us? So
Does your partner play also?
my partners, both of them played as well.
Okay.
So all three of us play pickleball.
Okay.
And
That helps.
That helps quite
to
a bit.
convince them, right?
It was. And then we started like looking at facilities. I did not think that it would take us 2 years, 2.5 years before we got started. I thought, hey, let's just go rent a facility, draw out some court lines.
How hard can it be, right?
How hard can it be? Let's put in like a few $1,000s and we'll get started. No,
Not so fast.
It was not that easy.
Absolutely.
But that's what's going to make this journey worth it. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Because it has been difficult. But guess what? The line or the like the light at the end of the tunnel is coming. We are
It
going to
is.
be launching soon.
Summer, right? Now
Summer.
today is April, right? So it's like 2-ish months,
Correct.
3 months.
Less than that. I think the construction will get completed on schedule. Shout out to Fouché, who's doing our construction work. They're doing a great job. I think they're going to be ahead of schedule. Then we just have to wait for the city to
Permits,
do the
right?
inspections and say,
yeah.
yes, you guys are good to go.
The big rubber stamp, right? Okay.
We started our membership sales, and those have been going pretty well. People have signed up, and people have asked a lot of questions.
Yes, you just had a webinar over the weekend.
We did.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
had,
Tell us more about that.
We had a webinar for people who had questions. You know, it's when you're starting something like this, and when you're asking people to join 2 months before the club
Before
has
you
even
open,
started,
yes, it's a commitment.
it's a commitment, and people are going to have questions.
Absolutely.
And we have nothing to hide, and we wanted to kind of say to people, look, this is who we are, this is what we're doing. One of the first things we started with the meeting was with a cancellation policy, and let people know, look, even if you join today, for some reason you don't feel comfortable, the cancellation policies will refund you all your money, no questions asked, 3 days after the club starts, till then.
Okay.
So if you invest now, till 3 days after the club
So you have
starts,
3 days to try it out.
3 days to try it out,
Mm.
see if you like it, see if you like the people. And if you want to cancel, we won't ask you any questions. We won't make it difficult. We will of course be sorry to see you go.
Absolutely, yeah.
But we want to make sure that we are open, we are upfront, we are honest, and our philosophy is that we want to be a part of this community.
Right, right.
And we don't want to nickel and dime people. We want people to prefer us and want to be with us, not be forced to come and play here.
Right, not because you have signed it 1 year, you're gonna lose your money if you leave.
Correct.
Yeah, I think in the conversations we've had so far before we started shooting this was you believe in this project,
Yes.
as in you believe in the quality and the design and all the thoughts you have put into this.
Yes.
That people will see
Yes.
the difference.
Yeah,
in this place as opposed
we
to
feel like we want to be player first.
Yeah.
And what does it mean to be player first is we want to design an experience where a pickleball player, when they come over here to play, they feel like everything is about them. And I myself, having played so much pickleball in the last year and a half, plus my partners, we feel very strongly that there are certain things that are not things that we can compromise on. One of the biggest things that we felt we
Safety,
couldn't
everything,
compromise on was lighting.
Right.
And
I was gonna say.
we invested a lot of time, energy, and work with a company called Bright Court, and they came in, did some photometric analysis, and they suggested, look, these lights are not all over the place, but these indirect hybrid LED lights are something that will give your players the best experience. These lights don't shine directly onto the court. In fact, they're pointed upwards.
It
so that the
diffuses
white
to the ceiling,
correct,
right? Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
And then the light falls evenly at all over the place. So when you're trying to hit a lob or when you're trying to hit a shot and you look up, you don't lose
won't
the
be
ball in the
blinded,
glare. You're
yeah.
not blinded. And that was something like, hey, we have
That's
to do it this
appealing,
way.
yes,
That was
yes.
appealing to me as a player, and that felt appealing to a lot of other players. I go to
Absolutely.
play at other places and people will wear these glasses with tint. And I'm like, who do you think you're, a movie star? I'm like, no, but the glare is high, so I
Right,
get it.
Right. Actually, if I can go back even before that, you talked a little bit earlier about you don't want to be one of the franchise clubs.
Correct.
Right, and
Correct.
tell us why you
So-
chose this route as opposed to the franchise route.
So the franchise route, there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of great franchises out there, and I've played at a few of those. They provide a great experience. For us, we felt like the value that being a part of a franchise was actually not value. It would limit us in the things that we wanted
because
to do.
they have their rules and the policies and the guidelines of about
Correct.
how to do this and that,
Correct.
right? Yeah, and
And
you'll be restricted.
we wanted to be much more open with our community. We wanted our community to feel like they had a say in this club, that there was no head office where we needed to get permission
To
before
report to,
introducing.
right? Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, get permission from, for example. Yeah.
Correct. And we wanted to keep that doors open. My fellow partners and me are going to be hands-on owners. We are.
You'll be playing, I presume.
We'll be playing, but we'll be working here. We don't have other jobs in the sense that this is our core business. This is where I'm going to be working. I'm here most of the time, and my partners are as well. And we basically are making this into our not only
part of your life, essentially, right?
Part of our life. And you can't do something like this without having the passion.
Oh.
And it's not just about anything else. It was like, it sounds exciting. Oh my God, I'm going to work in sports. I get to wear a t-shirt and shorts every day to work. And then you realize, oh my God, this is hard.
It is hard.
There's a lot of work involved. There's a lot of details
involved.
In
fact, I would say that by not going the franchise route, it's harder.
It is.
Because you have to make lots of these decisions. You have to choose, weigh the pros and cons of certain things. And for franchise, certain things are already decided for you.
Yes, they are.
You can just follow along. Here, every little thing, like the lighting, the ceiling, the sound thing, you have to pick and choose the best for the community and for your
we did. I think we have a PhD in the business of pickleball now. And everything from what material goes on the court, to what fencing we are doing, to how the staircases are, whether they're 4 inches apart or 4.5 inches apart, every little thing me and my partners are aware of.
Involved in and make conscious decision
We do.
to choose A over B.
Correct.
Not because of headquarters said so, but because you look at the options and then you decide this is better for the court and for the place.
From the carpet to what insulation material to, we sit in every single construction meeting. We in fact probably bother our superintendent who was downstairs, you met him, way too much, but we are here, we are asking questions and we are collaborating with them, not because we want to interfere, but because we want to learn this business, and if we have an opportunity to make something better, we want to take that.
Absolutely, which is why it is harder than if you had chosen the more prescribed route.
It is.
Right. And kudos to you for taking that harder option, right? So so let's go back to the lighting. You talked about lighting. You talked about the court surface. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, the court surfacing is, it's called cushion courts. We have Bob from Northwest Court Consultants, who's been laying out courts all over the Northwest. He's a great guy. He's going to be doing our courts for us. What these are, there's 8 layers of polymer. It's not very thick, but what it does is it creates this cushioning so that when a player hits the surface, the impact, instead of traveling up to the knee, travels back into the court. So that way it's kinder and gentler on your knees. And the surface
longevity in this sport, right?
And you will basically see the surface is going to be like a normal outdoor pickleball court surface without it feeling wobbly or anything like that, but it just has that layers of polymer that allows you to reduce the impact a little bit on your knees. Over the long term, these courts are much nicer on your knees, and we wanted to kind of make sure that we did something like that. I will show you the picture of what the colors are going to look like.
Okay,
and I think we'll release them on our Instagram, but I'll provide you an image.
Sure.
We're going with this color called nautical navy along with the background of slate gray, and the courts look really
cool combination.
It is a cool combination. It's not the traditional blue and green combination. Nothing wrong with that. We just wanted to
something unique.
Yes, we want
something appealing to the eyes also, right? Okay, so talk about the courts. Tell us about the sound. Like pickleball courts, the bang, 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 or the echo going around. It can be quite annoying, right?
Yeah.
So what have you done?
You don't notice it so much outdoors, but when you move into an indoor facility which is all locked in, and there are multiple courts playing, that sound talk starts getting to you to the point where you can't even hear your partner tell you what the score is.
So we have that struggle all the time.
So we are doing that. So what we're doing is we're working with a company called Silencer, and they are USA Pickleball approved. They make this noise absorption material, which we're putting along the entire periphery of our courts. When we
on
go
the walls,
down on the walls,
you show us later.
people will see where we're putting it, and that is a 4-inch thick padding that absorbs the sound. It's going to reduce the sound dispersion, and it's not going to be sound canceling, but it's what they call sound mitigation. It reduces the amount of sound.
Right.
So you're not going to have an experience where suddenly your boomstick sounds like an owl, but it's going to cut down on that sound a little bit. And sound sensitivity is a big deal. Like we've talked to a lot of people who say they will not play indoors because it gets so loud, and for them it's a disconcerting.
Especially when there are 10 courts going at the same time, right? Yeah.
So we wanted to kind of put that in, not as an afterthought, but kind of think about this from before.
Built in.
Put it in. again, all these things add up to a player-first experience. They also add to cost and time, but we want to make
worth
sure.
it, yeah.
We don't want to just give lip service to the idea of player first. We actually want to do it.
Right, right. And then during our previous earlier conversation, I heard like multiple examples of that.
Yes.
Like you choose the not necessarily the least costly option, but because of benefits to players,
Correct.
you rather choose something more costly or
Correct.
may take longer, but it's just good for long term.
Everything from even our fencing and how the doors open. The
Yes,
kind of
tell us about that ledge.
So, like you go to a lot of these different facilities and they have fences and they have latches, and a lot of times I've noticed people catch their finger in it and it gets bloody. It's
those
not a big
U-shaped
deal.
things, right? Like that clicks into
It's
the
a
pole.
scratch here or there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want somebody to get hurt on my facility. So we've worked with again, Bob at Northwest Court Consultants to come up with these latches on the door so that it just opens and shuts without having to do too much work and pick up. And again, I hope nobody even notices this and thinks that this is part of a ubiquitous experience, but that's the level of detail we're going into. We're also putting in carpet between the courts, and again, carpet feels like, why are you putting carpet? Cement looks so much nicer. Well, the carpet absorbs sound.
Yes.
One more reason to grab the sound. And we are, my partner last week went to 3 different carpet stores to make sure that we were picking the right look of the carpet, because we got these samples. They're like these square box. And it's like, I can't tell anything from looking at this. I got to go see a much bigger picture.
Absolutely.
So again, all of us are taking the time to go and really, really take the right decisions.
Right. One of the things that have impressed me so far, I must say, is the level of attention to details.
Yeah.
In multiple areas,
Yeah.
right? We'll look at the quotes later on,
yes.
but I think I just want to share what I'm hearing so far, and it sounds like you guys have put in a lot of thoughts, a lot of efforts, energy, and you're not sparing cost also.
No.
Same thing for the fence, the bottom of the bar, all those things are very thoughtful, which I appreciate.
No, we are paying a lot of attention to details, and it's not like we're not making mistakes. I'm sure we're making mistakes here and there.
You're doing something, this is the first time.
It is the
Maybe
first time.
someday this can become a franchise, and then people don't have to go make the same learning experience.
No, I have talked with a bunch of people who want to open their own courts and facilities, and I've given them tours and I've talked to them, and I feel like pickleball is such a wonderful sport and it is growing, and I feel like our whole ethos is that we want to be complementary to the sport of pickleball.
Absolutely.
We don't want to come in here as competitors to franchise A or franchise B. We feel like we are going to carve our own identity.
The pie is big enough.
The pie is big enough, and I think together the pie can grow bigger.
Get bigger, yes.
Instead of trying to
blue ocean, right?
Yes. I totally subscribe to that philosophy.
Me too.
And we definitely want to make an impact in this community. So I'll give you one example. I'm not actually wearing the T-shirt, but one of our members, Sam Jones at Ryzen, they have a shop just down the line. And once we announced our club, Sam said, hey, I can make these T-shirts for you guys. And we are like, okay. So we went, we looked at his facility, we looked at the kind of T-shirts, and we got some polos made. And he got them made for us in like 4 days. We were going to some event, and they had the nice Velocity Pickleball Club logo.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, this is awesome. We as Velocity are creating business in Redmond for other Redmond people. And we want to make sure that we want to be a part of this community. Local is a big word, right?
Me too. I agree. I subscribe
And
to that,
one of the things we are looking for is partnering with local companies to sponsor us. We have a couple of people who have already sponsored us. We're working with more companies like that. But the idea over here is to make sure that we are giving that local experience to our players and to our businesses. So this becomes an ecosystem where it's not just
sustainability.
Us. You're all, the rising tide lifts all ships.
Yes.
That's what we want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I really like a lot of your philosophies a lot. I mean, obviously you have done other business ventures before that, which we may not have time to go into today.
No.
Maybe another channel another time, right?
Someday,
but we'll focus
someday.
on pickleball today. So speaking of the summer of 2026, right?
Yeah.
You want to give us a little hint of roughly which month?
So
or is that too soon? And I don't want you to give away things that you're not ready for yet.
No, it's not that. The thing that we have noticed quite a bit is people in this community are so passionate. If I give a date, I will have a lot of people say why it didn't go out on that date. And it's very difficult because...
Actually, I regret asking that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I feel like the answer over here is we want to open as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
And the answer over here is
As
there
soon
are
as it's
certain
ready.
things that we need get an inspection and we need to make sure, because we want to make sure we're doing everything right. Once that is done and once the club opens, we'll be open 6 a.m. to midnight every day,
Okay.
7 days a week.
Okay.
And we'll have so much pickleball that you won't regret coming in a little bit late. So if we don't open on a specific day and we open 10 days later,
It's worth the
okay.
wait.
It's going to
Yeah.
be worth it.
Yeah.
And we are being patient, and that is the only reason why I'm not giving out a date and saying summer. Summer sounds like a long time, but as we get closer, I will keep giving more updates on our Instagram channel, and we'll send out emails to all the people who have joined
You
our
send out
mailing list.
teaser videos, right? I'm sure.
Send out teaser videos. And absolutely, I think before we open, we will know the date. We'll at least 2 weeks in advance. We'll let some of our members know so they can be some of the first people to book their open play sessions and book their courts. So that way, on day one, we have a full house.
Okay, good. All right, so this is good for part one. I think we've
Yes.
heard a lot
Yes.
already, which is great.
Yeah.
Part two will be let's go and take a look at how things are
Let's
right
do that.
now,
Let's do
and
that.
then you can tell us a little bit of those finer details that we talked about, so
Absolutely.
we can see it for real.
Absolutely.
All right,
Let's
see
do it.
you in part two.
Thank you.
All right, I'll cut it off.